What's up, guys? Justin here with TheSketchUpEssentials.com. So in today's video, we're going to check out an extension that allows you to quickly create and adjust doors, windows, and other elements inside of SketchUp. Let's go ahead and just jump into it. All right, so remember, this is my next video in my series on the best architectural extensions for SketchUp in 2026. It's going to take me a while to get all the videos in this series made, but if you want to go ahead and get the entire list with links to all of the extensions, as well as links to tutorials and example models, you can do that at TheSketchUpEssentials.com/architecture extensions. All right, so I have a link to Flex Tools in the notes down below, but you can get it by visiting TheSketchUpEssentials.com/Flex Tools. Note that is an affiliate link, meaning I do receive a commission if you purchase through the link. But this is basically a tool for creating smart objects and openings that are like responsive and make changes as you tell it to make changes. They can be a huge time saver. And so I wanted to go through kind of what's contained inside of this extension, as well as some tips and tricks for getting the most out of it. So let's go ahead and hop over into SketchUp. And so first off, when you install Flex Tools, you're going to get this toolbar that looks something like this. It's basically going to give you access to all of your different kinds of doors, windows, and other elements that come along with the tool. And so the first thing I want to talk about is these are all editable and adjustable, which is what makes them so powerful. They're built on top of SketchUp's dynamic components, and basically what they do is they allow you to make changes and adjustments. And we'll go ahead and do it with this door right here because you can kind of see through it. Okay, and so notice what this is going to do is it's actually going to redraw the object whenever you click so that you don't have that distortion that occurs, right? So if your door frame, for example, was set to be whatever the thickness of your door frame is, if you scale this out, it's going to redraw this door so everything has the proper proportions. This is extremely valuable because if you've ever tried to do this manually, it can be super frustrating. And so one of the cool things about this is these doors also have a bunch of elements that you can edit. Like if you right click on these and go to dynamic components, there's a component options function right here that's going to pop up a window, and you can come in here and you can type in different values. So like, for example, I want this to be a 36-inch door, right? So I'll just type in a value of 36 and it's going to resize to 36. I want my rough opening to be, we'll say 7 feet. So what is that? 84 inches. Right here. And then notice how you have other options in here as well. And these get important a little bit later, like your wall thickness. So we'll talk about that more with the windows. Okay, and so one of the things I want to point out about this tool is when you drop these in, these can actually cut openings in your walls, which can be a huge time saver. So like, for example, if I put this bifold door in here in this single width wall like this, notice how it's going to cut an opening in that wall. Well, let's say I had a wall with some thickness, right? So we'll just add a wall over here. 25 feet, we'll say 4.5 inches. And we'll pull this up. Well, I'm going to take this wall and I'm going to group it. I want this to be a little taller right here, but if I put it in a group, notice how if I drop a door in this, it's still going to cut an opening in the wall right here. And the cool thing about this is it also will adjust inside of your wall like this as you move it around. So the fact that this is kind of like non-destructive opening cutting is definitely a real benefit, because kind of managing those openings can be a little bit frustrating. And so in addition, you also have other options in here. So like, for example, if you go into these components, you've got the ability to add things like casings. So I can add a casing to the outside of my door right here. If I decide that I want to do that, and then I can adjust that casing. And you actually double click in here and you find the casing, and then you can adjust the width, right? So if you want it to be 2 inches, you can do 2 inches on the head, 2 inches on the sides right here, as well as adjusting the depth. But you can use this in order to quickly add casings to your doors as well. There's a bunch of other options in here too. So things like you can adjust number of leaves. So if I wanted this to be 2 leaves, for example, I could just apply that over here. Now I'm going to slide this over so I don't get any overlap with my door, but whoops, I could set this to be like 84 inches or something like that, or a little bit less, so maybe 72 inches. right here. And so you can see how you can use this to create single doors, double doors, and then a lot of these other doors in here have other options as well, right? We've got this like bifolding door right here where you can set the different widths of the different folding pieces, that kind of thing. Now, one of the things that's interesting about these is you can actually interact with them too. So I can interact, and when I do that, what it's going to do is it's going to open the doors, right? So this gives you the ability to set if your doors are open or closed inside of your model, like this. So you can see how you can come in here and you can interact with those. The interact tool does different things depending on which tool you have active in here. But if you do want to show your doors as open or closed, this helps you avoid that whole like modeling a leaf for both open and closed type thing. Now, this is also set up where if you take a section across these objects right here. So if we go into plan view, like so, we're going to toggle into parallel projection. These are generally set up so that they're going to look good on a plan. Now there is an option, and I'm going to pick a style or adjust this style so that I don't have a black fill in here so you can actually see the doors themselves. And so notice how you've also got the option over here inside of your tags. So there's some things like 2D plan view. So if you toggle on the 2D plan view, what that's going to do is that's going to have things like your swings showing up so that you have a good looking plan view in here. And I would probably want to, and I've lost my Flex Tools window, so let's just bring that back in here. I would probably want this to be closed if I was doing a plan like this. But if you want a top-down view, notice how that's going to show you how to create these from a plan standpoint. So these are actually set up where you can use them in your plans as well. Now, there's also a library of windows, and this is great for me because I really do not like modeling windows. And so what these do is these work the same way as the doors, right? You like drop them in the wall, they'll cut an opening. Now, we'll check out a tool in a second that allows you to drop these into like multi-object walls that I absolutely love. But these are going to work the same way, right? You can interact with them to open them and close them. You can also scale them. So in order to adjust the size, you can scale them to a different opening size if you want to do that. You can also right click and make a whole bunch of changes. Like for example, you can scroll down and you can adjust if it has a casing, a sill. You can set if there's a subframe on the inside. And then some of these other options have the ability to do things like adjusting if you have mullions in here. And so some of these you can actually get different mullion setups by clicking in the window right here. So notice how this is going to give you kind of alternate mullion layouts in here as you click. So you can click in here until you find the one that you want. And then you can also make the adjustment. And I guess these are more like muntins than mullions. But either way, this allows you to pick those different divisions in here. And again, I mean, they adjust as you go. So if we pick this, right, we want to make it taller, it's going to go ahead and it's going to make that adjustment. Like there's no fuss or anything like that. So there's a number of different kinds of windows. So you've got like double hungs, you've got casements, you've got hoppers and awnings, you've got trapezoidal and arch windows as well. And again, you can get like more precise with the options by clicking in here and making different adjustments. And then there's also some other interesting tools built into Flex Tools. Like for example, and I'm going to go back into perspective mode just so that this looks a little bit better. But you've got things like the louvered opening. And what the louvered opening is going to do is it's going to automatically add a louver. And it's going to kind of cut a hole in here like this for the louver. So you can toggle things like your sill off. You can adjust the rotation of the different louvers in here by picking just a different rotational angle in here like this. So you can adjust all of those. You've also got this flex panel. The flex panel is interesting because what it does is it allows you to add more like paneling to your model. So in this case, we can set this where it's going to divide this. It's going to divide the number of panels based on your sizes. So say I wanted these to be smaller, I could come in and I could say, no, I want these to be 24-inch panels right here, or 12-inch panels. And this is basically like a panel creator that you can use in order to drop panels on surfaces. So if I wanted a panel across this whole surface, I could just scale it to fit on the surface like so. And then you've also got, this is the one I don't use quite as much, but you've got the kind of the flex fence. So you can use this to adjust and create different fences. I find this mostly useful for more of the like linear stuff. You probably can do corners and things like that, but mostly I like this just to like drop a quick fence in here. Now it does have things like different styles. So for example, I could add a top to these. There's also a cap option like so, which is more useful if you were going to make this into like an iron fence, right? So for your pickets, for example, I could bring my picket size down to something smaller, and then all of a sudden this is more of a iron fence rather than a picket fence. So there are different fence options in here. Now, one that I do find helpful is the stairs. So the flex stairs allow you to just drop a flex stair in, and then you can just scale it in order to make the stair fit. You can set things like the depth of the treads, and you can do that based on your max riser height. So like, for example, if I say I want my max riser height to be 7 inches, this is going to resize in here so that your treads automatically calculate based on your riser height. But they've also got a U-shaped stair and an L-shaped stair. And so what those do is those allow you to do the same kind of thing, but in this case, it'll do kind of an L shape. Remember that you can use the interact tool and click on one of these landings in order to set where you want that landing to be. So you can use this in order to calculate that. If you want a more complex stair, we've got this U-shaped stair right here, and it works the same way, right? You can come in here and you can say, no, I want my intermediate landing to be here, and it'll redo the stair based on wherever that intermediate landing is. So you can come in here and it's pretty easy to just kind of adjust this like this so that you get kind of an equal number of steps above and below. But again, you could make adjustments like max riser height. So if I come in here into my component options, and in this case, I want my max riser height to be 8 inches, which is probably a little bit steep, but just to give you an idea of what it does, it'll come back in here and it'll recalculate that based on that revised riser height in here. So you can use this in order to quickly generate stairs. You've also got a couple options in here for ramps. So the ramps, you can either calculate a grade and slope, or you can actually place a ramp component. So the ramp component, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to rotate this like so, allows you to select kind of a length and then a height like this, and it'll generate that ramp for you. And you can set like number of degrees. So for example, if you wanted to set a fixed number of degrees, you could say, no, I want this to be a 7 degree ramp. And so what it'll do is it'll resize right here based on that. So you can use this in order to adjust what the ramping is going to do. And if I didn't want this to be fixed anymore, I just set the fixed back to 0, and then I could rescale this and it'll work out nicely. Okay, and then one of my favorite tools inside of Flex Tools is if you have a wall that has like multiple groups on it, right? So for example, there should probably be an air gap in here, but it's fine. I've got brick over rigid insulation. I've got plywood, and then and I probably wouldn't need plywood in an assembly like this. So maybe I'll just move my rigid insulation over, but then I've got like some CMU backup, right? And it's multiple groups. So if you tried to come in here and cut openings, you'd have to cut it across like multiple different objects. You'd have to come in here and you'd have to cut it in this one, and then you'd have to cut it in the next one, and it would just like be really time consuming, right? So one of the cool functions that I really like about Flex Tools is it has a function for cutting openings in multiple walls, right? And notice how, like, for example, if I drop this in a double-sided wall right here, it only cuts the first two. Well, there's an option in here called wall cutter. What wall cutter does is you can set a number of faces that this is going to cut. So you can see how I told it you need to cut 6 faces based on the wall that you're in right here. So what that's done is that's gone through and it's cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 faces, and it gives me a full opening. And this like maintains this if I move it around in the wall. So you have the ability to cut across multiple groups using wall cutter. And I absolutely love this function because it makes working in walls like this like significantly easier. And again, you can do the same thing with this one right here. So this is going to move around and it'll resize the opening. Now, there are a number of other functions in here, which I don't really want to talk about too much. There's a refresh function, which is just going to refresh them inside of the current assembly that they're cutting across. There's options in here for flipping objects, which can be helpful. Like, for example, if you've got Like if this door was facing the wrong way, you could flip the door so that it's facing in or out like this. So those can actually be extremely useful. You can also set it where it's going to open or close all doors and windows in your current selection. So if you wanted to open or close all of your doors, there's an option for that. We're not going to talk too much about the make unique and make totally unique or the zapper, other than those just make your components unique or they remove that functionality. Now I do want to take a look at this tool right here, the component finder. So if you are looking for a good way to like manage your component library, this is one way you can do that. Now, I typically use more of like a boneyard type function where I have all the doors just sitting inside of a model somewhere and I can quickly bring them in. But this is cool. Because you can link it back to different folders on your computer and you can actually see the models that are inside of that component library, and you can kind of bring them in. So you can use this in order to fully manage your component libraries if you decide that you want to do that. I think this is a great tool for that. I love how like visual it is. I personally find I just can't get away from the boneyard concept. That just works for me. But if you are looking for something that's going to give you the ability to manage all your components in one place, Component Finder is really great for that. All right, so that's kind of a run through of everything contained inside of Flex Tools. Like I said, this is a really great tool for you not having to manually model your doors and windows. I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. What do you think about Flex Tools? As always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks, guys.